Hi, I'm Dana Schwartz, and this is Rise or Die, the official companion podcast for Peacock's original series, Those About to Die. On this podcast, I go behind the scenes with the show's cast and creators to learn how they brought their brutal vision of Rome to life. I talked to acclaimed director and executive producer Roland Emmerich.
When I saw the first race, I was like giddy.
Actor Ewan Ryan.
For an actor, that's a dream, although you do get a lot of sand in your sandals.
And so many more.
You helped summon those ghosts back onto that stage.
Every day when I went to set, I was giggling about what I saw.
I think it's going to be a breathtaking thing.
People will freak out.
Rise or Die launches on July 18th. Watch or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, I'm Alison Larkin, writer, comedian, narrator, and host of the Jane Austen podcast. Join me as we embark on a journey through Austen's timeless stories, starting with Pride and Prejudice. The Jane Austen podcast with Alison Larkin is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Oh, hey! Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
How's it going?
Well, it's so great.
Want to go to San Francisco?
I do. This episode that you're about to listen to is going to come to you live from the Brava Theater in beautiful San Francisco, where we had a very nice time with some very nice people and some particularly spectacular lighting design.
We were joined by Kate Leth. We were joined by Joanna Robinson. It was truly an awesome show. We hope you enjoy it. Before we get there, we have a few things we want to talk to you about. One, I was so excited on the stage of the Brava Theater that I misspoke a bit. I want to just apologize. I conflated Angel having his soul. He has his soul in China. He does not have his soul in London. You know that. I knew that. But just so when you get there, you're not like, no, and I get 400 emails. I know. Also, you may be wondering who won the Sexual Tension Award poll from Family, where the crystal dildo gave us all a run for our money. You're going to have to wait because we announced the winners inside the episode with Kate Leth, of course.
Also, in this episode, at the very end of this episode, you're welcome in advance. A very special day that features the premiere, the debut of A Voice for Spike. We are joined musically by the incredible Cory Branan, a wonderful dude with whom I have played many shows and enjoyed many a good musical hour. He is so great.
He sounds great. He's all like Spike meets Tom Waits. It's real nice. You're going to like it.
Yep.
So welcome, Cory, to the family.
Yeah, and thanks for being here. And also check out all of his records. They are everywhere that you find records. He's so great.
Yeah, and we'll put a link for finding more about Cory in the show notes.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of links, you'll also find a link to our store where we have lots of new merchandise. We have the new Just Keep Fighting tee. We have the gold foil Smash the Demon Lizard Patriarchy t-shirt, which we got to see in San Francisco, and I'm obsessed with it. Sleepaway Witch Camp t-shirts. We've got 'Tis the Season crew necks. In the UK store, we have a 'Tis the Season tee. There's a few ornaments left. There's not a lot. So if you want your ornament, you better snag it.
Now.
Because, there's only a few left because everyone is obsessed with them, as are we. I have one hanging on my tree.
The only thing scarier that I can think of than not getting a Smash the Demon Lizard Patriarchy ornament when I want one very badly is...
All right, Jenny, to round out this year, 2019, I'm going to give you a story, a spooky news story about a mysterious blob that was discovered in a Paris zoo. It is called Le Blob because of Paris. And there's a lot of things about this blob, but I know everybody wants to get to the live episode. So I'm going to just tell you that it was discovered. It has 720 sexes. It has no brain. It's unclear if it's a fungus or an animal. It can learn things. It has no stomach or mouth, but it can digest things. And get this, if you like teach it something, which these scientists who are, investigating Le Blob, they've discovered that like if they teach one blob something, then it will like sit next to another blob.
Wait, there's more than one blob.
Yeah. Yeah, there can be many blobs.
Does the blob subdivide like a
Yes,
worm?
the blob can subdivide. Well, so here's another crazy thing. If you cut it in half, it can heal itself in 2 minutes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so look out for Le Blob
No.
coming to a theater near you. No, it's, I don't know. It just seems really cool and maybe scary, but like maybe it will be the thing that takes over the planet. And maybe that'll be good, you know? Maybe we need a lot of multi-gendered blobs to bring in 2020.
I'm scared.
Okay. Well, that's been your non-holiday specific. Oh, now I just pictured Le Blob with a little Santa hat on.
Okay, that does take the edge off a little bit.
That has been your spooky news.
Hey, a quick update / reminder on prom coming this April. Our live taping of I Was Made to Love You on April 17th is sold out, but there are still tickets available for prom on the 18th.
Hell yeah.
If you've been hemming and hawing and thinking about whether or not to get a ticket for prom, now is your time to act. Just go to bufferingthevampireslayer.com and click on events.
Yes, it's going to be at the beautiful Bell House. There's going to be live music. We're going to be playing 90s tunes. It's kind of the best time ever. Also, just a quick thank you to all of you who sent me emails about wanting to volunteer for the transcription project. I have over 100 emails from you. So if you're waiting to hear back from me, it's just because I have 100 emails. So stay tuned. Next week, I'll be emailing all of you because while we only need 5 volunteers now, it's great to know that we have such a strong support system. So we're going to organize, as we do here, to just keep fighting and transcribing, as the original lyric perhaps went.
Yes, of course.
Next week is the last episode of the year for Angel on Top, Darla, which is the crossover episode with this episode, Fool for Love. I will be guesting with Brittany Ashley and Laura Zach, so you'll get to hear me talking all about Darla with them, so tune in there. And speaking of holiday breaks, Jenny, this is our last episode of 2019. We will be coming back with Shadow on January 8th.
Hooray! But while we are non-episodic over the holidays, just want to remind you that you can hang out with us if you are a patron. We will have a Patreon Buffy watch on December 21st of Fool for Love. We'll also have a couple more exclusive Patreon activities coming up after that. We'll have a Buffy watch of Scream 2 on January 11th. And I will be playing yet another concert of buffering songs streaming live upon the internet on February 22nd.
Hell yes.
If you're not a patron, you can become one by going to bufferingthevampireslayer.com and clicking on Patreon.
Yes, join our family. So if you're part of the holiday gift exchange, that's fun. All the names have been drawn. We all have our secret holiday Scoobies.
Hooray.
And we are very excited to roll you into this live episode.
Yes.
We will miss you over the holidays, but if you're part of the Patreon, again, you can join us for some of those fun things. And let's get into the episode. We'll see you on the other side of 2020.
Yeah. Happy holidays.
Woo!
Watching and discussing every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. One at a time.
For the listener at home, Jenny, a la Britney Spears, circa 1999, flipped her chair around and sat back down on it.
I was thinking of doing it like more in the style of like a cool stepdad or substitute teacher who just wants to be real with the kids. Spoiler free, I am Jenny Owen Youngs. It cannot be denied.
And I am Kristin Russo.
Correct.
And today, San Francisco and surrounding Bay Area, we are here to discuss Fool for Love. Stay tuned at the end of this podcast every other week for a song written by Jenny Owen Youngs, and sometimes with help from Kristin Russo. Cool. So who wrote this? Who wrote this shit?
Fool for Love was written by Doug Petrie, directed by Nick Mark.
Who?
Nick Mark. And originally aired on November 14th in the year 2000.
Do you have,
Just a handful of days before
what, your 19th birthday?
before I turned the tender age of 19.
Jenny and I, this is like seeing a shooting star for you, because Jenny and I, on this very day, are the same exact age.
Yes, enjoy it while it lasts, ancient one.
We're both 29.
But we look 27.
This is the one where we learn all about Spike, and then he... That's the IMDb description. Actually, Jenny, if you'll just give me a short moment, I would like to start the...
As though I have a choice.
I would like to start the episode off right, because this is the one where...
Spike, I love you. Spike, so dreamy. Spike, your trench coat. Spike, I love you. Spike, your blackmail. Spike, peroxide. Wow!
Is it all right if everyone, with everyone, if I take off my red blazer? I asked Jenny to carry me out on stage, but her back is broken because she's so old.
But not as old as the person who needed to be carried out on stage.
Wow. Off to the races!
You got a real Miss Havisham vibe going on right now. Without the jacket. Let's get a taste of that cake. That is not what I meant.
Wow. I mean, this podcast is devolving. We have...
I blame Kate.
I was just gonna say, speaking of cake and sexual metaphors, we have Kate Leth here tonight. And I'm not gonna ruin anything, but you're gonna hear a little bit of jingle jangling when we bring out our other guest, whose name is Joanna fucking Robinson. All right, we should probably start talking about the episode. So, previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So the previously on is Spike, I love you, Spike, right?
That's about it, yes.
Yeah, we get the things we need to know. Spike is a vampire. Spike has killed 2 Slayers. Spike's name is Spike because of a railroad spike. Also William the Bloody. He's got a chip in his head. Buffy is having sex with him in his dreams. I said that
I like
weird,
that you said Buffy's having sex with him in his dreams, which is definitely what's happening.
Yes, we've established on this podcast, Spike is a bottom, Xander is a bottom. Anya is a top.
Willow and Tara are 2 peasant bottoms, somehow gloriously mismatched together to great effect.
And Riley takes off boots.
Does that make him like a switch? Because he's doing something active, but it's sort of like at ground level. I don't know. There's something there.
Service bottom. Service cardboard bottom. Okay, so we go to the graveyard is what I wrote, but we've had this conversation a million times. I'm like a goldfish. It's a cemetery.
Yes.
Not a graveyard.
Yes.
And Edward Scissorhands
Slash!
I know. I can't. I have to do something that will make you mad at me for not saying the right thing. You know, that's my role here.
Okay. Oh.
We get this super punked out vamp. Buffy's wearing a fucking scarf that I don't understand.
So impractical for slaying, and so are the pigtails. So many handles. So bad. You're giving your opponent way too many ins.
It's true, and it's also like the skinniest little scarf. It's not providing any warmth. It's truly only there to get in the way.
If you think this scarf is small, have you ever seen Veronica Mars? Veronica Mars wears like an 8-foot-long piece of dental floss that she like wraps around. She's legit like the woman with the thing where you want.
And she has 2 pennies.
And a bunch of matches to sell. And then when she takes her scarf off in front of her husband, after they get married, her head falls off. It's a thing. Just trust me.
That was actually good. That was a good transition.
Uh-huh.
Buffy does this. It's not, or I don't believe it's a wrestling move. I think it's a gymnastic move, just forward flips. She sort of like circles through the air very beautifully. And the whole first scene is you know, Buffy being Buffy. She's quipping, she's flipping, she's sipping. She's not, but I wanted to keep going. And then, of course, this punk vamp turns her own stake on her and stakes her. A gasp. And I just remembered we didn't put screens on the microphones again. We're going to be peeing and teeing all over the place.
I will not.
Anyway, sorry, that was an aside. Back to what I was saying. Which is that, okay, so Buffy takes her own stake to her stomach. And I think, and I'm curious as to if you agree with me, but I think that this is set up very much where you think it's a dream. Like, we cut to the credits, and I feel like if you watch this show, you're like, this didn't really happen. The blood is so red. This would never happen to Buffy.
Blood would never be this red.
I mean, it seems very dreamlike, I think, because we don't expect it to happen, just like Buffy, of course, did not expect it to happen. Cut to the credits.
And then the credits are over. And that's a lot of blood on that baby blue sweater.
Oh, she's wearing baby blue? Kate's gonna be so excited.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what Kate's gonna be excited about in this episode.
Okay, Buffy fucking pulls the fucking steak out of her stomach. Like,
okay,
you don't do that.
But in her defense, you also don't leave it in.
I think you do. Do you have a doctor?
Don't involve them.
No.
They know too much.
No, we have a doctor right here. Do you pull it out or do you leave it in? A nurse. You leave it in.
Okay, but what if you're still fighting a vampire and you need maximum mobility? Then what? Pardon. Do what you gotta do. But then go to the hospital, or, well, we'll get into the ors, the other possibilities in a moment. But first, things are not looking good for Buffy. I mean, they already weren't looking good for Buffy, and then she's not doing so good.
Yeah, and there's a moment before your boyfriend rolls up.
Mad about it. Oh, you saved her? The patriarchy. What a bad boyfriend. The patriarchy. No.
No. Just simmer down. I am not mad about Riley helping. I'm mad about Riley being your boyfriend.
Did you say you're mad about Riley being my boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean...
Before the wonderful, beautiful, glistening Riley comes in to save the day, I have something serious.
Would you say he's like effulgent? As we later learn, effulgent rhymes nicely with has a bulge in it. Which applies across the board.
Yeah.
The cardboard.
It's true. I'm gonna go. She's good. Can I say something serious?
Yes.
I know, right? No, Kristin, you cannot. But I want to just call attention to one thing before Riley strolls in with his bulges and effulges, which is that Buffy is up against the, what do you call that thing? Mausoleum. Thank you. She's up against the mausoleum, and the vamp comes for her, and there's like this moment. And she really does not fight back, and I feel like it's an important moment because then the rest of the episode we learn about, we'll talk about it, but we learn about what piece of the Slayer is often involved in the death of the Slayer, which is a death wish. And I think we see like a glimmer, a glint, if you will, in Buffy's eyes.
To a certain degree, can you blame her? I just like... flew here from LA today, and I had like a delay where I like got on the plane, and then they were like, "There's a delay," and then we got off of the plane, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
This feels like a lot. And she's out there every night.
No,
there is no delay on the SS Vampire, which is not how planes are named traditionally.
I do not blame her at all for having a bit of a death wish. And to like get serious for a second, like I think this is a big thing to talk about, right? We, all of us Scoobies, right? One of our anthems that we have from our podcast is just keep fighting. It's hard to just keep fighting. And like Buffy has been at this now for many, many years. And at some point in the episode, the phrase, death is on your heels, is said. And that's like what she lives with every day. So I don't think that it's bananas at all for any of these Slayers to have had a death wish, because it gets real fucking hard. Right? Don't. Seriously?
Well,
seriously?
There was a greater, I'm sorry. There was a greater context where you're like, death is on her heels. And it's like, well, I mean, death used to like be all over the place. And now she just has Riley on her heels, pulling her boots off real slow.
I have a question. I'm going to pose as many of my questions as I can before Kate and Joanna come out so that they can ruminate on them. But there are many Slayers. And like we learn about two, which we'll discuss. One who is in China, another one, New York City, Buffy, Sunnydale, except for that one weird time when she was in Cleveland. So I just like, we know that there is a hellmouth in Sunnydale. But why was the Slayer in China in 1900? And like, why was the Slayer in New York City in 77?
And doesn't it just seem like a bad structural plan to just have the one, like, wherever? The patriarchy!
It's too much power for me to have all these jingles. Okay, so Riley's been trained in combat bandaging.
Paging Dr. Riley for medical patch-up. Second floor of the Summers household. Please report, clothing optional.
I just feel like I could have done this bandaging job. Like it looks like he like taped a piece of the
you
bandage.
could have pulled that boot off too, but you didn't.
I would have pulled that boot off better.
Okay.
I just feel like he taped the little bit of bandage and then was like, "Can you spin around for me?" And he just looks a little loose. They have this exchange that's very important because Riley is like, so how many vamps were there? Like, was it this like, super crazy bad guy? And she was like, no, it was just one vampire, which is scary, but not as scary as Dawn.
Oh, Dawn's
doing so great. She's warning them that Joyce is coming. She covers up.
That's all you got? She is. She's warning them about Joyce, but like, was Joyce gonna barge in? Because that seems weird. So she opens the door, right, and they have a very cute exchange. And I guess that they're having cuter exchanges now because Buffy has the temper on this isn't just my little sister, you know? Right? I just panicked, you guys. I was like, we got there, right? Y'all know Dawn's the key. Oh God.
Yeah. We're definitely seeing an extra layer to Buffy's side of their relationship.
Yeah.
Especially when she's like, check out my wound. And Dawn's like, cool. I mean, gross.
Right, and Dawn's like, I will help you with the house stuff. And Riley is like, I will help you with the patrolling.
But could you please, for my peace of mind, my handsome boyfriend who's so strong, I worry about you, could you please take my very helpful friends? They're great at patrol. They bring snacks. They dress inconspicuously.
Has Anya ever been on patrol? Anya is like, she's like wearing heels, I think.
Buffy wears heels all the time to patrol.
Anya is like, she's like hobbling the whole time, like trying to keep her scarf over her shoulder. She's got like a purse.
Yes.
It's good. Riley does a beautiful hand move. Chew, chew. Willow is looking fantastic.
What? It's like you start at the top and you're like, surely this has to be the worst part. This like sort of like crushed chenille like bucket hat, but in a condom style. Then you move down and you're like, oh no, it's spreading. The sweater is way more infected than the hat. And then somehow she is wearing like white pants with pink flowers twined
green.
all over them.
They're green.
They look pink. Maybe I'm infected too now.
So they have this exchange. My favorite part of the exchange is something that didn't actually happen. Like Riley's pissed. They're like chomping on chips. They're yelling at
Very
Riley.
loud chomping. His concerns are reasonable.
They are. And then Xander like screams out. Riley's upset about it. And what he says, because I turned the closed captioning on, and what he says is, see, now he's all mad and sarcastic. But what I heard 3 times before I turned the closed captions on was, see, now he's all Madam Sarcastic.
And you were like, who is she?
Wow. Yeah.
But then.
Yes.
Do you know what else he says?
I do. But you should tell
Riley's, and this is relatable content, folks, so buckle up. Riley is like a big jungle cat. How come I'm not like that? He's just so cool. And then I think I turned the closed captioning on and it said, boy, yo, 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 yo.
Yeah, no, it did. I kept mine on, and that is exactly.
Cool. And then, like, I don't want to get ahead of exactly where this happens in the cemetery, but there's, like, a thing where they're, like, running all low in a line, and, like, Xander's hand is, like, very close to Riley's butt the whole time, and they're, like, running. Just something you might want to go back and enjoy.
You think Xander has some boots at home? Oh, what do you do when you're a service bottom and a bottom bottom?
So anyway, Buffy's pissed off that there aren't any, I don't know, live tweetings of the last time that a Slayer was killed.
But like, okay, so, right, Buffy's like, what happened? And Giles like, there's no record. And there's this like very sad, like, squeak moment for Jenny, where Giles is trying to say, like, I think that probably this was too painful for them, and that's why they didn't.
Dad!
Should I play his jingle?
Yeah! Giles, hot dad. When you were younger, you were real bad. But now you're older, you got glasses. watch over us. Thank you, Giles.
And so Giles has a jingle, and if you've been paying attention to the podcast, you will notice that the Watchers Council does not. Actually, I guess they do. Yeah, it's the patriarchy jingle. But my point is that, like, I think that Giles is a bit rose-colored glasses. Like, I think he loves Buffy. He has a father's love for the child. And I think that he thinks like these records haven't been kept because he wouldn't be able to keep that record. But I actually think that if we think about the council and we think about the Slayers, they probably just don't give a fuck, right? It's like one's out, another one's in. Like I don't think that, I think there's
the larger structure of the council, which, you know, is employing a lot of people in tweed, but I think on a watcher by what, like the watcher that actually has custody of the current living Slayer, I think that relationship is often not
is personal.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what well, we don't really have anything else to go off of. Although Faith and
Do
her
we have
watcher
any
were close.
watchers
Do you
in-
remember Faith? And her Yeah, okay. I mean, when are we gonna get to use it again?
She's from Boston, keeps it Spartan, doesn't need any frills. Seems like she's the only one who's taking care of herself. Don't call her loser, she's a bruiser with the power and skill. But the demons deep inside her are the hardest to kill. Faith!
You know what's remarkable is that I remade this jingle playlist for today because we have some new jingles and I wanted to make sure they were all here. And so I was like pulling them in. I was like, no, we won't need that one. We won't need that one. And then I looked at Faith and I was like, you know, we just might. And I'm so glad I did. But yeah, I mean, right, Faith's watcher. Oh, remember her? Well, no, I mean before.
You mean? No, she wasn't really Faith's watcher.
I know,
though.
but remember her?
Yeah, she was like Hermione, you once famously said. Just like Hermione.
Thank you, Jenny.
Attributed to Kristin Russo.
Thank you so much. Jenny Calendar is dead, attributed to Jenny Owen Youngs. Okay. All right, so cut to Spike's crypt.
It's a good day for Spike, because he's getting slapped around by Buffy.
Oh. And he's like, do it harder, baby. It doesn't feel like it usually does. Truly. He's like, thumbs up. And then they go to the Bronze, which is nice, because I feel like we haven't hung out there. I mean, we had Tara's party there, but it was very brief, a montage, you know? This is a real hang. Spike's drinking some shitty beer. And he's like, hey, you're asking me these questions and you want quick answers, but this is not a quick answer kind of a thing.
This is more the duration of a plate of spicy buffalo wings kind of conversation.
Precisely. And lo and behold, when Buffy calls for the spicy plate of buffalo wings, she hurts her side. And he's like, I knew there was something up with you. And then he says, a quote, it's on the poster, designed by Kate Leth. What do we think of this poster, by the way? What can I tell you, baby? I've always been bad. Cut to the least bad man we've ever met. William the poet. What rhymes with gleaming? Oh, so he's just...
His glasses are so small. They're so small. Just make them bigger. That's like...
I like them.
That's there. I'm holding up imaginary lenses to my eyes right now, listeners, and I can tell you that more of my field of vision is outside of those lenses than inside. Don't you dare! How dare you!
Oh. All right.
So this nerd is at a party writing some poetry by himself. We've all been there.
We have. I just really like William the Bloody. I do. I think he's sweet. I would date him. So he's writing I guess it's bad poetry, whatever.
Honestly,
I've heard
they
worse.
laughed at effulgent, but I feel like, as we learned earlier, the laugh line is really bulging it. It doesn't feel, in terms of the bad poetry I have experienced over the course of my life, it does not feel like a standout piece.
Yeah. Cecily is a fucking asshole. I'm sorry, but this person...
There are just other ways, madam.
Yes. This is, she's just out to be shitty. She's being shitty for shitty's sake. There are so many ways that you can let someone know that they are a great person, but you are not that into them, you know? And this is not fucking one of them. Fuck you, Cecily. She says, we should probably say what she says. You're nothing to me, William. You're beneath me. And then he cries.
Also, it's briefly mentioned at the party that there's been a rash of disappearances around town. I wonder who could be responsible.
It's also mentioned at the party that William the Bloody existed because he was so bloody bad at poetry, which is
His
nice.
bloody awful poetry.
And there's also that fucking asshat in the corner who's like, I'd rather have a railroad spike in my head than hear that poetry. And we're like, yeah, buddy.
Just wait, it's coming.
That spike is headed your way. So Spike goes out into the London streets, and this is very cool if you are watching Angel, or if you've watched Angel. This is a direct crossover. You see this scene from... Are you so excited? You're so excited. Yes, it is. It is a crossover. It is it, because you see the scene from the other side, and I don't think this is a spoiler, but because it is in the timeline with the show, but we know from watching both shows that this Angel is Angel. Angel has his soul in this scene. He's gone back. If you're not an Angel watcher, this whole situation in London happens after Angel has gotten his soul, and he loves Darla so much that he just wants to be with her. So he's trying to be a bad vampire, even though it's killing him. So that's important context. Yeah, there's a lot, right? Oh, I felt like I was on a talk show for a moment. There was a murmur in the crowd, but so we see this scene in the episode Darla, which you'll hear Laura and Brittany and me talk about. And then Spike, or William, I guess, goes back. He's crying, and who appears? I know, right? It's a very jingle heavy episode, but how could we not? Are you ready?
Drusilla, you fill my heart with dread, and still I'm led right back to you.
Okay. Yes.
Just in case you thought I was wearing this white lace turtleneck for some other bizarre reason. All right. So Drusilla is like, I see you. And Drusilla is not a fucking liar, right? Because
She's many things, but not a liar.
But not a liar. We've seen vampires, tell humans what they want to hear so that they can, bite them.
And that does happen, but put that to the side for a minute.
It does. This is very consensual. This is the most consensual siring I've seen. Is that true?
Yeah.
It is, right? Yeah, props to fucking Drew. She's like, hey, here's what I know about you. You're fucking strong. You fucking are cool. I don't write the lines down, but this... I did actually write one. You've got burning baby fish swimming round your head. Something that she says.
Okay. Uh-huh. She also says, you walk in worlds the others can't begin to imagine, which is a little more accessible.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, I like the fish.
She also grabs his junk, which is very accessible. I mean, I can't.
I'm sorry, what?
She grabs his junk. It's like off, it's like out of the frame.
She does?
Yeah, what show are you watching?
She grabs his bulginit. I missed it.
Yes.
I missed the bulginit grab. And
you can tell because of James Marsters' face.
He has that very specific cheekbone alignment.
Yeah.
And she plucks the word effulgent sort of like from him. God damn it, I love Drusilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, Juliet Landau, man, she rules. And then she says, do you want it? And he's like, and matter of fact, I do.
But then he's like, ow, 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 ow.
It's a little like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie, when
Paul Rubens
dies, yeah. But it's funny. It's good. I like it. My next note is, LOL, Anya's waddle and purse. So I guess we go back to the cemetery. The vamps are like, they're just like...
Yeah, they have a real like orc vibe going on.
He's just still talking about how I killed her with her own weapon, like blah, blah, blah. And Riley's like, there's too many, we'll kill him in the morning.
And this, now that I'm seeing it in my notes, is the scene where Xander is, and I quote, basically running along, reaching for Riley's butt through the cemetery.
I know that somewhere in the audience there's an Emily McLongstreet who will gift that shit for us. Thanks, Emily.
Awooga.
And thanks for our whiskeys, too. Okay. Oh, great. My next heading, like I head them where we go, and it's bronze/pool table. You know, I am queer. I know.
Oh. Finally.
I know you've been waiting a long time for me to tell you that. But I just fucking, a pool table will always do it for me.
Just the table?
No. The table, the balls, and the stick.
So that's actually, you've said some, you know what? Okay.
And even sometimes the little chalk.
Help.
Okay.
If you're listening, if you can hear this, please help.
So
I'm being held against my will inside this podcast.
So Spike and Buffy are talking, Jenny.
Yes.
And Buffy's like, fucking, so you became a fucking vampire, whatever. And Spike is like, no, man, fuck you. Like, that's actually a really big deal to me. You know, like, it's a profound experience. Then this is where I get even gayer. He lights his fucking match on the pool table. Queer women, please beware. That's all I need. Just light a match on a pool table. I'm yours. Thank you. Okay. What do you got, Jenny?
I'll tell you what I got. I was through playing by society's rules. I decided to make some of my own inhale on cigarette to light it. Getting killed made me feel alive for the first time.
Wow. Oh.
Okay. I was just working with dynamics. I didn't know that was gonna hit. Sometimes I'm loud, sometimes I'm not.
This is a very important episode, you know? Like, I know that we're funny sometimes. We have a lot of serious shit to talk about.
So then,
here she goes, serious shit. You can tell just by her fucking stance.
It's a flashback, and we're learning about different artistic approaches. Angel is like, delicious finesse.
Oh, I just put my whole mouth on the microphone.
Spike is like, I'll put my whole mic on. Damn it!
But yeah, Spike's approach is I will put my whole mouth on the microphone.
Yes, thank you.
Right, and they have different approaches, but also remember, there's a lot going on for Angel, you know? There's a lot going on for him. So Darla and Drusilla they're in hiding because Spike has been dramatic. I mean, pot calling the kettle, Angel. The most dramatic of all vampires.
Well, he's got like 80 years on Spike. He's matured.
He's got a soul on Spike, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but the ladies, Drusilla and fucking Darla.
Darla is like hot, hot, hot. They're gonna fight, hell yeah. Her like bodice is tightened. I don't know. What do women wear 100 years ago, and how does it move?
A corset, and it doesn't.
Is a bodice a garment? I should ask Kate, but is a bodice a garment, or is it like a section of a garment? It's like the boob area.
The crowd went wild.
Whoa. This, again, you know too much. Please hold.
So were you gonna wait for Kate for the answer?
Yeah, or I'll just do my own bodice research on my own time.
Both.
Kate says, unsurprisingly, it's both. Kate, it's both, Leth. Everybody.
First of all, Darla that's the sentiment, but Darla looks at Drusilla and she says, I think our boys are going to fight. And it's good. And then Drusilla's like, the King of Cups wants his picnic, but it's not his birthday yet. And then Darla's like, yeah. Like, Darla's just like, whatever.
I'll work with it.
I want a spin-off that's Darla and Drusilla from 1880 to 1900.
Speaking of spin-offs we'd watch, it's time for a naughty little bottom to provoke a great big bear. What? It's
I'm sorry, you just looked right into my eyes when you said it, and it was too much for me to handle. I was like, go ahead. A naughty little bottom does what?
Spike, a naughty little bottom. Has to provoke fucking great big broad-shouldered daddy.
Yeah.
See, I knew you would be on board.
I was on board for the whole thing except for the eye contact.
Honestly, I regret it.
Yeah, they get up in each other's vampire sweat in this scene. And then Spike learns that there is a thing called a Slayer. Incredible that it took him 20 fucking years to learn that. Don't you just get that in your handbook?
It does seem a little weird that it hasn't come up yet, but maybe they've just been not on the same continent as the one and only Slayer.
True. All right, solid point.
For a while.
Yes.
Also, I feel like it's worth noting that Angel almost fucking stakes Spike.
Yeah, well, makes sense, all things considered.
Yeah. Which is why I bring it up. That's all.
And then Spike is like, yeah, Angel, stake me.
He really is.
So, we learned that Spike is now, he says, I never hid, I sought her out. Like, as soon as he learns there's a fucking Slayer, this is kind of how I feel about, not Slayers, but like Spike likes a challenge, you know?
Okay.
He's like, what could make me prove that I am a natural talent? Killing a Slayer.
Help.
What? I'm just saying, like, do you not have that feeling
yes,
of...
you and Spike are natural talents.
We are, but that is not the breaking piece of news. Lesson the first. I have a lot of things I like about this episode. One of my favorite things is the fact that he says lesson the first and lesson the second. He really stuck it through, you know? He kept that, and I love it. It's good.
The drama.
And he says something very important. A slayer must always reach for her weapon, but I've already got mine. And then he's like...
Wow, that is exactly what he's like. In
Natural
the middle
talent.
of the bronze during a very busy time.
Yeah. But the patrons there are not as surprised by him being a vampire as they are about the violence at the pool table, you know?
True.
They're like, yeah, vamps, but like, don't push her wound, man.
And both of them scream.
Okay. So, now we get to lesson the first, which is China, 1900, the Boxer Rebellion. This Slayer has a fucking sword, and I'm into it. She's also got
she's cool as hell.
She's real fucking... I will also take a spin-off about this Slayer. That long braid, she's got...
I'm starting to suspect that spin-off is a euphemism for you.
You caught me. And we see... I'm trying so hard to be serious for you all. But really, I just want to laugh and talk about sex. They're fighting, and it's a fucking great fight. Like, props to the choreographer, the stunt person for this. All of the fight scenes in this episode are incredible. And she reaches for her stake after her sword gets like stuck in a stone. I don't know. That's a whole thing. And this explosion goes off, so she drops the stake. Which is exactly what he's saying, right? Like, he doesn't that is not an error that Spike can face. And then he kills her. And there's this moment, and that's why I brought up the moment at the mausoleum, title of my forthcoming memoir.
The moment in the mausoleum.
Where she just has this look, right? It's like, she wants to fight, but she's also fucking tired. And he kills her. And before he kills her, she's like, can you just tell my mom that I'm sorry? And Spike is like, sorry, I don't speak Chinese. Fucking, yeah, we have moved from William the Bloody to Spike the asshole. And he drinks her blood, some of it. And then in comes fucking Drusilla. So what is that important thing, Jenny? What is the important thing that happens before we go?
Oh my God, Drusilla comes in and she's like, look at the wonderful mess you've made, or whatever she says. And there's a lot of like licking of blood off of fingers and rubbing of blood into gums. And then they make out, and then they, I think, fuck against a column. Did I forget something?
No. The fucking against the column, you started to get on track, but there wasn't a lot of licking of blood off of a lot of fingers, which is it's very specifically not that. It is the sucking of blood off of one finger. And I think that it might be the most sexual thing that we have ever seen in this series to date. Apart from the boo. But this is like, I was like, oh God, should I look away? It seems like you guys are having a private moment. It's a lot.
Yes, the blood of the Slayer is a powerful aphrodisiac 1080 PhD.
My actual note is doing it /aphrodisiac /finger suck, in case you were wondering. Okay, so then they go outside, Jenny.
Then they go outside, and Drew's like, guess what my boyfriend did? And then she's like, Angel's trying, you think that Angel's trying to look unimpressed, but he's actually like bummed. And Drew's like, it smells like fear. And Angel's like, yeah, it smells like that all over here. And all these other people, not me, definitely not me. I'm not afraid.
Well, and also in Darla, you know that there's a missionary family that he has seen and left in the alleyway. So there's also that fear that he's like trying to protect them. Yeah, there's a lot going on for Detective Angel.
Wow.
Great.
I have to get something for this.
If Jenny brought a fucking I want to just guess what it is, but I don't want to like blow up her spot if I'm right. So we'll just wait. How's everybody doing? Great. Okay, great.
Okay, so do you know what Kristin Russo thinks?
What do I think?
Kristin Russo thinks that when Spike jumps off of a 1-foot tall stack of flour sacks, he looks so cool.
He does!
Now, I'm at least as cool as Spike, and this is twice as tall. Do you believe in me?
I believe in you. I wish you had a float. You want to put on my jacket?
Okay. For the sake of the experiment. I am a scientist. I can't do slow-mo, unfortunately. Well, I'll try my best.
Be careful, Jenny. Jenny, for the listeners at home, is about to jump over a black box from the black box theater of this stage, as though it is the barrel. Don't worry, you'll be able to see it because everyone in the audience is holding up their phones to video.
What an idiot! I know. I have a vested interest in looking cool right now, and that did not look cool. You know it. I know it. Spike knows it.
I think he looks cool. You got it in slow-mo? Thank you. Thank you. Please send this to us at buffering@gmail.com. Thank you so much. I mean, it looks cool in the show, too. She's wrong. She's wrong about Riley. She's wrong about the barrel jump. But she looks great in suspenders. You got to give her that.
Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. And if you have sensitive skin, you're going to want to hear about their scientifically proven topical supplements. Free from over 1,500 chemicals and preservatives that can make skin red, irritated, or itchy, their products are safe for sensitive skin. It's just one of the reasons they've earned the skin-safe seal of approval.
They've also earned the Jenny Owen Youngs and Kristin Russo seal of approval, if I do say so myself, Jenny.
I couldn't agree more. I've been using OneSkin for a few months, and after a few weeks, I remember it like it was yesterday. I texted Kristin, and I was like, maybe she's born with it. I looked in the mirror that morning and was like, oh, things are happening, and I am happy.
I have used a million billion skin products, and I did not think that I was going to switch off of the skin like lotion, the moisturizer that I used and the under eye cream that I use, because I have used them for a little while and I really like them. And I've switched completely, which is a pretty big deal. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today with 15% off using code BUFFERING at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code BUFFERING. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, and if you can, please tell them that we sent you.
A bloodbath tonight in the rural town of Chinook.
Everyone here is hiding a secret.
4 more victims found scattered.
Some worse than others.
I came as fast as I could. I'm Deputy Ruth Vogel.
And soon, my quiet life will never be the same.
Realm presents a 30 Ninjas production, Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, I'm Simon Jack.
And I'm Sing Sing.
And together we host Good Bad Billionaire, the podcast exploring the minds, the motives, and the money of some of the world's richest individuals.
Every episode, we pick a billionaire and we find out how they made their money.
And then we judge them. Are they good, bad, or just another billionaire?
Good Bad Billionaire from the BBC World Service.
Listen now wherever you get your BBC podcasts.
Okay. So right after Spike jumps off the barrel, listen, I've had a lot of moments in my life when I've tried to look cool on camera, so I understand.
You're always jumping off boxes in slow-mo.
I mean, even walking and looking cool is very difficult for me. So I just have a lot of respect for James Marsters because he just like jumps off the barrel and his cheekbones are like glinting, the moonlight. I don't know, I think he looks cool. Discuss and debate amongst yourselves.
He looks cooler than most people would look doing that, but that doesn't make it cool.
A debate
and
for the
I
ages.
love him, and you know this.
All right, so we cut back to the bronze.
Yo. You think it's like wild for Buffy to hear stories about like her ex in the Boxer Rebellion?
Probably.
She's like, yeah, cool. Tell me another.
She's like, oh, I unfollowed him on ancient Instagram. Now he's all up in my mentions.
Did you say ancient Instagram? Great.
Yeah.
Whew. That's what I'm saying.
I was trying to think of a name for it, but I just got stuck in Stonehengeagram, and it didn't fit in Stonehengeagram. And what do you got for us?
Like monolithogram? Well, that's actually just like a. Okay. I'll work on it.
So we go back to the bronze, and Spike is like, that was the best night of my life, which is really saying something for a vampire of his age. And Buffy is disgusted. She's like, this is like, we could take Spike out and put Faith in for this exchange. It's the same exchange that they have all the time. She's like, you sicko, you got off on it. And he's like, and you're telling me that you don't? Faith is in the corner.
Buffy!
Faith is in the corner smoking a cigarette like, I fucking told you, B. We all get off on it.
Don't you remember that infamous set of unaccounted for hours?
Oh, boy.
Don't you remember... Don't you remember Buffy acknowledging the core truth of the post-slay hungry horny factor?
I do.
Tacitly.
I do.
Don't you remember all those missing hours?
I do. I remember them from the show, and I also remember them from you telling us.
And we don't need to retread all of that right now, but I'm on your side.
Thank you.
That's all.
I didn't know if I was on trial or like being lifted up. Yeah.
I have your back on this matter.
You know who else is probably into it? It's Kate Leth.
It's time for our friend Kate.
That's me.
Give you the Buffy fashion update.
Nice. Oh. Hi, Kate.
Oh, hi. It's
How's
me.
it going?
Hi. This is so strange. You can't really see people.
You can. You just have to ask Kathy.
Okay, cool.
Kathy, can we see the people?
Oh,
there they are.
Hi. You go up so much higher than I expected.
Okay, Kathy, make the people go away.
Hi. I'll miss you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Hi.
Hi, Kate.
I'm just like back there being like, you've tucked so many outfits. Oh my God.
I know. What do you have to say?
Oh, so much. I have all these screenshots on my phone that I can't really share with you, but I will when you post it.
Okay.
Because this, like, sometimes I'm grasping at straws. I will not lie. There are certain ones. Sometimes there's only 2 Xanders in an episode. And so you really go on a tangent about buying clothing. Because you gotta keep the people entertained. But this one, my God, start to finish, solid ensembles. Yes, that scarf. What is she doing?
I don't
know. Only to be outdone by then Anya's scarf, which is somehow a Doctor Who longer than Buffy's. It's incredible. Look, I can't, I left my phone backstage, but I'll show. Willow's hat?
No.
Whew.
We must never.
Is it felt? It's not crocheted. Okay. Look,
Yeah,
I'm
it's like
getting a little-
it's like what you do with wool when you make those little wool animals, but instead it's a hat.
My mom does those. Anyway, she could have made this hat for Willow.
My mom should talk to your mom. My mom loves buying those wool things.
Oh, yeah.
So,
my mom loves to make them.
We'll talk after.
She's very crafty. She's currently making us a giant sewn octopus with like armature arms in it, just because like she found the pattern and I was like, if you give us that, you don't have to get me anything else for the wedding. That's all I want is a giant octopus.
Will it be at the wedding?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
It's giving me away.
Kate's getting married.
They're backstage being very supportive right now.
Hi,
but,
Colin.
Hi, Colin. Yes, we drove here from LA today, so it's been an adventure. But yeah, all right. So what do you guys want to touch on in this specific thing?
Kristin, the fucking list never ends. What she wants to touch on.
Yeah.
What a great way.
There's a lot of things in this episode I would like to touch on.
Yeah. Kate, that's actually a really great transition to the first.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, the first thing that I would like to announce. Normally we do the Sexual Tension Award winners and the intro, but due to incredible timing, we have the results from family. And what I would like to share with you is
I was there.
You were, yeah.
Yeah.
You were really, truly there in so many ways. 7% of our voters voted for Farmer Finn and City Slayer. They did not do great.
I feel like we could have taken it farther, and given the time, I feel that we should. Just explore that on a fiction stage.
A spin-off?
Yeah. Anyway.
Uh-huh. You spin until it's off. It's your thing. Don't look at me like that.
Wow. 9% of our voters went for Wrestling Riley and Xander.
You're my people.
37% went for Spike and Fantasy Buffy, leaving an entire 47% for the Crystal Dildo and all of us. Hooray!
You know, we're staying near somewhere that's right across the street from a sex toy store, and I
Truly?
Yeah.
We are.
And I almost was like, I wonder if they have one that I can just bring, but they're very expensive.
I did look up crystal massagers. I considered it as a gift.
There are a lot.
But then I just didn't know if it was appropriate to just carry crystal dildos through TSA.
Yeah, no, that's probably fine to be limited to the theater of the mind.
Yeah. You know, fantasy, reality, fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So anyway, Kate, I mean, what we want to know is tell us your feelings on this. You drew this on an iPad.
I did.
On an iPad.
I went to visit my mom. Shout out to my mom. She's great. She doesn't listen to this podcast, but shout out to her anyway. She's busy. She doesn't want to hear me talk about dildos. She's had enough of that. But yeah, I was going to see her, and I got this sort of frantic message as I was boarding my plane. It's about a 12-hour journey to get from LA to Nova Scotia. And Chris was like, hey, so if you have any time and can do this, and we have 2 days. And I was like, of course, though.
Yeah.
Of course I can do that. So in between watching The Lion King on the screen of the person sitting in front of me on the airplane.
Oh, yeah.
I drew most of this poster in a program that had come out the day before. Thanks, Adobe Fresco. You really saved me on this one.
Fresco.
Yeah, you can save in vectors. It's great. Anyway, so yes, that was born. My mom also helped me and told me at one point that I had spent too long on Spike's face. She was like, you need to move on. And I was like, well, it's been 19 years and it hasn't happened yet. I love him. I love him so much.
I mean, I know. And that's like, you know, we often, when you're on episodes, we're often linear. This is not an episode I feel we need to be linear about. What I feel is that you need to tell us what this episode means to you. Some of your, whatever. Some of your favorite moments. what you think of cheekbones. Hey, what do you think of the barrel jump?
It's endeared to me like a child doing a piano
Jenny,
recital.
shut up.
Yeah, that's right.
Her stupid face.
It's like, aw, you're so bad.
Oh, who's a bad boy?
You're just killing people, drinking their blood.
I figured out that to get Jenny's cheekbones to James Marsters levels, you just need to tell me I'm wrong in front of her.
Yeah, you just...
Is Drusilla wearing a tiny little top hat, or did I just put that in after the fact in my mind?
That's where she keeps all that's left of her sanity.
Okay.
Is up there. It's real cute. Now, Darla's got lots of it. She's got 7 hats on top of each other. Darla's outfit is incredible.
Do you think it's one of her doll's hats?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She's amazing. And yes, obviously
Blood of the Slayer.
Blood of the Slayer. Yes, we're not quite to that point yet. I don't know if you want to go in the chronology, but when we get to the other Slayer,
we're off the rails.
And they do the jacket reveal. I lost it the first time I saw that. This came out in 2000, so I was 12. Had just turned 12. But yes, no, that was like, oh my God, this is where the jacket came from.
It's an incredible. So you sit in writers' rooms a lot.
I do.
And so I want to know if you think, because it's a beautiful reveal, and there's a lot of this show that they very much knew in advance. Do you think that they knew that in advance, or do you think they were like, it'd be fucking cool?
Yes. No, I can absolutely 100% guarantee what happens is they were talking about, what would she wear? We're gonna really play up his Sid Vicious thing and do that whole thing. And they're like, oh, she could do this. And then someone was like, oh my God. What if she had the leather jacket? And then everyone in the room was like, put it on the board. Put it on the board. It's going to the episode.
We cut to outside the bronze, Kate Leth, where I think it's Buffy who says to Spike, give it to me.
There are so many moments in this episode where I was just like, oh my God, I was 12. The blood licking? I'm sorry, I almost came out here.
I mean, honest to God.
You were 12 watching this pornography.
Makes a lot of sense when you consider sort of how I turned out as a person.
Sure, yeah.
But their whole, the sexual tension in this episode, off the chain.
Would you like to be part of the sexual tension award?
Am I not really in spirit most of the time?
It's always, you really, truly always are. So hold on one second. I'm going to bring us in, and you can actually see on my notes who we're nominating. So if you want to be a part of it, you can. Are you ready, everyone?
Sexual Attention Award.
It's so fun to have that in person.
Who would you like to read? Well, I have the 4 nominees that Jenny and I have decided on here, and we'll read a few, but why don't you pick, one that speaks to you, Kate?
Oh my God,
You can have 2. You do 1, then we'll go Jenny, then we'll go me, then we'll go you.
Okay. I am going to, for maybe the first time in my life, actively choose the het pairings. I'm sorry, it's Spike. He defies all logic.
Yes. It's that pool table.
As I just said, the blood finger thing,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I've got just Jenny verbiage right now. I'm gonna start some thoughts and not finish them.
I find it helpful to do this. And that can mean whatever you want it to mean.
Grab the calming boob in your hand. Take a deep breath.
Be the invisible boob you wish to gently cup in the world, as I always say.
I don't want to get greedy.
I can also see that someone's going to have a picture of all 3 of us cupping an invisible boob down there.
Nice.
Okay,
Very
sorry,
nice.
Kate, please.
So I was just going to say, effulgent is like, I'm a writer. That part was pretty good. So, yes, I will nominate Spike and Tristan.
Okay. This is a very jingle-heavy episode, and so since we never get the chance to talk about these two these days, we're just gonna, for Spike and Drew.
They got a dark and creepy, ghoulish, freaky kind of love. They got a ropes and handcuffs, tortured, bloodlust kind of love. They do. Spike and Drusilla.
Yeah.
Okay, that's our first nominee. Jenny, who are you nominating?
Whoa! Thank you for asking. Is it gonna go me and then Kate again and then you?
Actually, yes. I let Kate have more of a choice in the matter.
Oh yeah.
Sounds great.
Then I choose to nominate Spike and Angel. I already did a whole thing, so I'm not gonna reiterate, but you know why. You know what they did.
I certainly do.
I think I know who I'm getting left with.
Oh yeah, have fun.
It's all right, I'll take one for the team. Actually, I'll just take them so that you can end on a high note.
Perfect.
I will nominate by default, but also Xander.
No, because you fully believe in it and you love both of these characters equally and you think they're the best ones on the show.
do.
Please go on.
The bottom and the service bottom. Xander and Riley with their boots. Thank you.
Which brings us, of course, to the source of many of fan fictions lost to old computers. If you could see them now, I would get so canceled. Anyway. It's gotta be Spike and Buffy, baby.
Yeah. You can follow us at Buffering Cast. We'll put up that Sexual Tension Award poll for you to enjoy, to vote upon, or you can just look into our eyes right now and vote with your soul, and we'll know. Great. Something very special is going to happen tonight, which is, listen, a lot of special things have already happened tonight, but Kate Leth has never shared a stage with Joanna Robinson. And
can you believe it?
Hold on, Joanna, stay where you are. Stay right there. Because I remembered yesterday, I was like, Jenny, don't we have a jingle for Joanna? I forgot about it. And let me tell you, Scoobs, it's real good. So without further ado, I'm going to play Joanna's jingle as she walks out on stage right now. Are we ready? Okay, here we go.
Joanna Robinson is here to talk to us about her feelings on the single
Hi, Joanna Robinson.
Hi.
Why?
Hi, Joanna Robinson.
Is that a lock around your neck? Hanging
Sure
by
is.
a chain?
By thread, by pure Cockney joy that we find is completely fake. Isn't it nice to know why James Marsh's accent isn't perfect? You're like, oh, Spike's putting his accent on. I see. It's not his accent. I was wondering if anyone here is thirsty.
I think that you know that they are.
And I don't mean like...
Everybody is thirsty, Joanna.
I feel weird.
This is the I'll stop hovering over you in a second, I promise. But this is the perfect episode for us all to talk about, right? It is the objectively horniest episode of Buffy Vampire Slayer. like the sexual tensioniest episode. It has the most iconic Buffy fashion moment. So of course, Kate is here for the origin of the coat. Like this is it. This is the episode. And then Kristin and I are here for all the Spike stuff, and then Riley's here too, I guess. So, something for everyone.
I feel like I have to start being a Riley apologist just to give him a little more support, but it's not gonna happen.
So wait, is anyone thirsty but actually thirsty?
Joanna brought something very special to the club tonight. There's some O negative. There's some B negative. And those are the only types I've seen.
Wait, I have a really important question for you guys.
Yeah.
It's like it's I think one of the toughest questions of this episode. Like I'm just been racking my brain. Can you guys think of anything that rhymes with gleaming?
That was the first thing Cohen said. They've been being like so good, and then we got to the point and they were like, so many things rhyme with gleaming.
Steaming. Reaming.
Wow. Just went right for it, kid. Like with paper, obviously.
Yeah.
Sick.
Or like oh no, that's something else. Anyway, yeah. So
It's almost as if he's not a very good poet.
Almost.
Listen, you work effulgent into a stanza and then come talk to me.
Okay. I will, Joanna. Challenge accepted.
Yeah, challenge accepted by both the songwriter, and the writer up here. Yes.
I have an idea based on this challenge, Joanna, which is that if you're listening to this podcast or in this room with us, write the poem Spike should have written. Send it to us at bufferingthevampireslayer@gmail.com, and the winner will get one of Kate Leth's posters.
Oh my God, yeah, I'll sign one and just write the word effulgent on it.
Yes!
In like really fancy handwriting.
Yeah. Like a nice tattoo for Spike, effulgent on the bicep.
Oh, beautiful. So get to work rhyming gleaming though. We're going without, you're gonna put effulgent on it.
It has to be, listen, I'm making the rules
Yes,
now.
please.
Shorter than a sonnet, any, pentameter that you choose, but it has to include a rhyme for gleaming and the word effulgent.
Yeah.
Those are the rules.
And I think if you do iambic, like bonus points, right?
Yeah. No, go, whatever poetry style speaks to you.
Sure.
You're all
And if you can rhyme Cecily, I applaud you.
Yes,
So,
I'm very excited to read
Give it
The winner gets the poster and Cecily.
Wow. Lucky you, I suppose.
Listen, Cecily's great.
I will say really quickly in defense of Cecily, Spike walks up to her and she's like, oh no. Like she makes it really clear she doesn't want to talk to him. And he's like, oh, I know, they're all Philistines. It's just us. And she's like, no.
Every single time I see this scene, I think about, hey there, Delilah, and how the girl it was written about was like, this wasn't cool. Like, I don't know you. True story. And so she had it follow her everywhere for years. They met like once at a party, the guy who wrote that song and her. And she's like, I had a boyfriend. This is weird. And I always think about that when I see
And her
this
name
scene.
was Delilah.
Delilah, yeah.
Oh,
and then
God.
he wrote, hey, they're Delilah. And it became this like huge hit. And this girl who was Delilah, a kind of uncommon name, was like, well, great.
It's gonna come on in a bar, and
How
she's just gonna be
fun.
like, "Oh no."
Yeah, pretty much.
That song about
I'm
me
sure
again.
Sweet Caroline felt the same way.
So Joanna Robinson, for those of you who are listening and not seeing, has bleached her hair blonde.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
Is wearing, Who made that shirt, Joanna?
Oh, I did. Guys, have you ever bleached a shirt? Because here's what's fun. You just take bleach and you intentionally put it on something. Spike, as you know, has very little bleach on his shirt, but then I started bleaching and I couldn't stop. And I was just like, and I did it with a plastic fork. Did I tell you that part? No, okay, so you take the bottle of bleach, DIY, guys. Take a bottle of bleach, dip a plastic fork in. I lost 2 plastic forks to the bottle in this process. But like, by the time I got to the 3rd fork, I was really good at it. And you just sort of like flick the bleach, and then this hot mess happens. So,
It's very good.
Yeah.
It is very good.
And this is, I feel like I'm on stage with several Spike experts. Is this peak Spike?
Oh, yeah.
Visually speaking, is this peak Spike?
No, like there is no moment, no more like aesthetically pleasing moment of Buffy the Vampire Slayer than when James Marsters in this like subway chic, like looks up at the camera, right? Across the decades.
There is a reason I spent 3.5 hours on his face.
Because it's like the subway fight's happening, and you're like, well, this is hot, and she rules, and this is great. He looks great. Oh, she's got the coat. Holy shit.
And then he breaks the fourth
And then he
wall.
starts talking to her from the subway. His eyeliner is so smudged. And you're like,
much.
yes. Yeah.
It's so much.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, maybe I'm the top for once.
He's not. He's not.
He's trying, though.
He's trying.
Good
He
for
really
him.
is trying in this
No.
scene. He even snaps the subway pole in half.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
He's like a top for like a second.
Yeah. It's so good. The transitions in this part is like, this is a fantastic episode. I love it so much. Rewatching it is such a joy. It is in my top 10, if not top 5. I will say that. And the changes over the years, but it's so good. But the transitions that start to happen with like the clap when it comes back to the present day. Oh. And then the subway pole turning thing. Yeah. I don't know what he says in the clap, but it's a very good moment. Yes. Incredible is the point where it's like, whoa, this is actually like a really good episode. Because you already know it, but like that part is it's a standout Buffy moment for me.
Good job, director whose name we mocked earlier because we didn't recognize it.
I didn't mean to mock it. I just had never heard it.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you've heard me say it before in the intro of our podcast that we host together.
That's why I didn't hear it.
What the hell?
Was it Nick Mark?
Yeah.
I'm great.
Another natural talent rises.
I just remember because it's 2 first names. Yeah, that's great.
Billy Idol Spike is amazing. Something that Cohen mentioned backstage is that this is the first, I believe, and you guys will be able to correct us if we're wrong, the first confirmation that Spike bleaches his hair, even though we knew that wasn't natural, right? But like isn't this the first we see of William's like natural brunette?
Yeah. Is this
This is
the first
the
time we
first
see William?
Spike flashback to
Okay.
William.
Yeah.
But I believe he's been called Captain Peroxide already.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. But I think I
we haven't
wondered
gotten
for a long time when I was younger, because I was dumb, if Spike had like bleached his hair and then died. Not
Yeah.
Right.
had
yeah.
been killed, and so
Yeah.
his hair was just bleached forever. But that's not how
Because
that
hair,
works.
here's the deal, right? Like, oh no, your hair keeps growing after you die.
because vampires get different haircuts.
So
this is true, but when you're a vampire,
I'm so like pleased and upset. I just learned that information.
For the listener at home, somebody in the front row, very deservedly in the front row, was like, no, when you die, your skin shrinks. And said it with, like, are you a death doctor?
A death doctor? Kristin!
that's still very impressive. You don't need to follow that up.
Are you
Almost
a
a
death
death
doctor?
doctor.
Okay, so when you die, your hair does not keep growing, so then Spike never has to touch his roots. But that's just quite a hair decision he made.
That would be the dream.
But like he made that hair
upkeep is a bitch.
like he made that hair decision, and then he's like stuck with it. He fried his ends forever.
I think it changes. We see vampires over time. I actually don't know.
Listen, there's confirmation later in the series that vampire hair can grow.
I love the way you tiptoed through the tulips
Spoiler,
on that one. Yeah.
almost.
And as someone in the audience said, metaphysics. Okay.
Wait, follow-up question.
Yes, please.
Where were you when you found out that James Marsters, A, was not British, and B, did not look quite the same without the bleached hair?
I
With
feel
love.
like it was. It's like a blacked out memory of like when something traumatic happens and you kind of just can't really process it.
Like someone spun a subway pole and hit you in the head.
Much like-
and you woke up like months later and you're like, where am I?
This is like when I found out that Dr. House was the same person from Jeeves and Wooster, which my parents had on a loop constantly when I was a child alongside Monty Python. Yeah.
And you're
Parents.
like, Birdie, what the?
Yeah, it was very weird. I was like, oh my God, he's not American. Because the thing is, British people are so good at doing American accents, but if I could ever have 3 minutes to talk to David Boreanaz, I would be like, do you even know where Ireland is? I can't even listen to him because he's like,
Actually, do you know who can tell you exactly what he's like?
Who?
She's sitting right next to you. What does David Boreanaz do for Ireland?
Oh, what is David Boreanaz's bad the Liam accent?
Yeah.
It's like diddly eye potatoes. It's like very bad.
But it's like he's got this weird overtone where
Right.
it's like, what are you doing, William?
There's fear everywhere. I can hear it.
We can't stay here.
It's fine. Why did I let me wear this wig? Repeatedly. Why?
How much dry shampoo is in this? It's standing a foot off me head. It's rough.
And now you all know why we wanted them on stage together. That shit took like 6 minutes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think when they were filming this slow-mo, all four of our vamps walking towards camera?
I would kill, by the way, to see a version of it that's sped up to regular speed.
Yeah.
Please go on.
First of all, Marsha's wig does this like flop thing that Jenny's hair did not do. Secondly, do you think Boreanaz is like, oh, I wanted to do the jump?
Do you think they let him do one? And be like, oh, Dave, it's fine. We'll do a take. We might use it.
Yeah. And they're like, we're not gonna use it.
And he's like, whee.
But like Irisher.
I'm flying higher than a leprechaun. It's just so bad.
It's very bad. It's very bad.
It's in my top 5 worst accents in film or TV.
It's above Peter Dinklage's like Game of Thrones accent.
Julia Roberts and Mary Riley.
That's a good one.
Is it Kevin Costner and Robin Hood? Oh, Keanu Reeves and Dracula. That's the best one. That's the best one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, what I respect about Kevin Costner is that he doesn't try to do an accent.
He doesn't. He gives up like 2 scenes in.
I don't think he even starts. He's just sort of like, yeah, I'm Robin of Locksley. Who are you? My estate. My father, the king. You're like, okay. I respect a lot about Kevin Costner, to be honest with you. So. No, but
Kate is laying down on the table.
But like to go back to
Just not every day you get to hear someone say, here's the list of things I respect about Kevin Costner.
You guys, have you ever seen the Madonna documentary Truth or Dare?
Yes.
Yeah? And then Kevin Costner comes backstage and he's like, I liked your show, it was really neat. Right? He says that. It's very polite. He's like, we really liked your show, it's really neat. And she's like, neat? I mean, I respect Madonna too, but she was like, neat, okay, thanks. And then he leaves and then she goes, like this.
Rude.
Like a gag with the finger to Kevin Costner. And I was like, Madonna, I respect you a lot, but he just said something nice about your show. So
Kevin Costner stands you out there?
They're really excited. All 3 of them are like with me. So, yeah. But to go back to the slow-mo shot, I feel like Boreanaz would be like, I'm the one with my own show. My own show.
I've moved to Los Angeles.
It's called Angel. Heard of it? I get to do the hop.
I work with Cordelia.
I know that you're like both doing like a hilarious like fake accent bit, but you both sound 100% better than David Borean is. It's fucked up.
Boy, thank you. Oh boy. Okay. All right.
Wow.
Buffy.
Wow. Okay, so that we may have our seats again.
Yes.
Kate, do you have any parting words for us? You're coming back before we leave, but
Oh, good. Great. Yeah, I was just gonna like head out.
no, you gotta stay. You gotta stay here at least
Gotcha.
till the howl. Okay.
Oh, obviously.
It's very important. We have a surprise for the howl. It's not James Marsters. Everybody, keep in your seats.
Is that what everybody thinks a surprise is?
I don't know. I had this moment one time where Tegan and Sarah surprised everyone at a pride party that I threw, and I like every time I say there's a surprise now after that, I always feel like it won't be big enough.
Literally, like, what if Chris and Jenny made you sit here for 2 hours and listen to these chuckle fucks while James Marsters was backstage?
He's just like chilling, playing Pokemon with Cohen.
His cheekbones. Like, getting them nice and effulgent for you. To come out to like howl goodbye.
Nothing
It takes a
would
long
thrill
time
me
to
more.
sharpen cheekbones, Joanna.
My last words, boy, this one's a lot. This one's a lot. I mean, if you, I'm sure there are people who listen to this podcast who are listening to it being like, oh, I watched Buffy a couple years ago. I remember enough about this, but it's also a joy to be reminded of the things that I forgot. But if you have not watched this episode recently, please do yourself the favor of doing it again and being like, wow, 12-year-olds watched this.
Did you have to like watch it with a parental figure in the room?
Oh, it was like a whole thing where my family watched it together. Like it was the only thing we watched together other than Mystery Science Theater and Jeeves and Wooster and Monty Python. I am the way I am on purpose. But yes, we watched it, and because we lived in Atlantic Canada, we got it a day early. We got it on Monday nights instead of Tuesday until it moved to wherever network. CW, what was it? Yeah. Okay. Open. Then it was on the same night as everyone else, and we were no longer special. But there were some uncomfortable moments, as you will see, with Spike as the show develops. So yeah, just imagine being 12 and watching that with your parents, and oh wow. I'm sure that was a great sound. Okay, I'm gonna take that as my cue. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Kate Leth!
Thank you.
That was our friend Kate. Giving a Buffy fashion update.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite parts of the Philly Live episode was that we said until next time, and then the audience said she'll see you at the mall, and I would love to do that again just because it was so much fun. Are you ready? Until next time.
See you at the mall. You guys are great.
Oh, we love it. Hi, Joanna.
Oh, hi, Kristin. Hey.
Well, we're nearing the end of the episode.
Sure.
Here.
Yeah.
But, you know, a lot of it was Irish accents. And which was amazing, but I don't know. We're like here, and Spike is killing his second Slayer.
Yeah, it happened. We all saw it once upon a time. Wait, so Kate, you know, a lady never reveals her age. I will reveal my age, which is, you know, Kate was 12 when she watched this. I was 19. This episode aired 19 years ago, so it's exactly like my midlife was watching this episode, I guess.
Spooky.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in college. I made against their will, I made all of my roommates and friends and boyfriend and whatever watch Buffy. Like, all of them. Every Tuesday, that's what we did. And I also remember this crossover episode was such a big deal that you think you've experienced the slow-mo hop, but have you experienced it until you've seen 1,000 promos for the crossover event of the century, where everyone's going to be wearing wigs and frock coats?
So is no one on my team that the barrel hop is good? Thank you. I mean, I'm okay to stand alone on the barrel, below the barrel to catch Spike. Do you think that it's cute or sexy?
Those are my options?
Yep.
Or goofy. Goofy is okay.
Goofy, cute, or sexy.
It's gooftacular, but then like after
The
that,
walk.
but then after that there's a subway, and then you just forget. You're like, I
Yes.
don't remember anything that happened before the subway.
No one's
really,
willing
after the
to
subway.
take 1900 barrel jumping Spike, but I'll take you.
His hair flops. It like goes up and then down again.
He's committed to the moment and the jump. All right. Let's talk about the rest of this episode with Joanna Robinson, shall we? So the whole conversation is like Spike being like, listen, the only reason you fucking lasted this long is because you have ties to the world, which is a thing that we hear a lot.
He's like, your family, the Scoobs, right?
He literally is like, those Scoobs.
Those motherfucking Scoobs. Does not mention Riley, just saying.
Only one of us does, all the time.
Well, when I'm hitting on someone, I always try to bring up their current partner.
But like, Spike never misses a moment to make fun of Riley and or other people. So
That's
like,
true.
I feel like, but then he also doesn't bring up Giles, which he should have. So anyway. It's,
Well, but he does say her family, which could.
Kristin!
Just saying.
Remember when she was like, you watchers are all prudish? And then Giles was like, no, I'd be devastated if you died was my point. Yeah. This episode has everything.
It does. It really does.
So dad's sad and mom's sick, right?
Yeah. So, and that's the thing, and we get like a little taste of it at the beginning of the episode, right, where she's like, hey, can you help me make this grocery list? Not that she's sick, but just like, they pepper in like, oh, Buffy's helping take care of the household in a few ways. And they do it again with the conditioner later on. Like, where's the conditioner? Did you check under the sink? It's like, Buffy is like saving the world.
Follow-up
and also.
question.
Was that conditioner? No.
Why is your conditioner under the sink?
Doesn't make any sense.
Apparently, Joyce Summers has extremely effulgent locks.
Then you need the conditioner in a more accessible location than under the sink. If she had said, where's my travel conditioner or whatever, but she was just like, where's the conditioner?
Also, no conditioner has ever looked like that. It was definitely a bottle of shampoo. But yeah, Joyce is not doing well. She's going to stay overnight at the hospital, which is something that we learned towards the end of the episode. And are we there yet? We can't be there yet. Oh my God. First, before we get to the fucking steps, which just, I can't. A few things happen. Yes?
I just forgot. I just remembered that Harmony's in this episode.
Yeah. Harmony is in this episode, but
She looks amazing!
she does. She really does.
Look at that jumpsuit.
Do you always shoulder shimmy when you think about Harmony? Is that a
I
thing
just
you do,
shoulder
Jenny?
shimmy while I'm making this podcast. That's just the way it goes, Joanna.
All right.
Can't be tamed. Keep your fingers and extremities away from my shoulders. They could do anything.
They
at
will
any
be
time.
shimmying.
They shall.
All right.
Okay, so a couple things. We're in the fucking alleyway after the story is told about the New York City Slayer. And Spike is like, I'm gonna have myself, like one of those days you're gonna have a death witch. I'll slip in, have myself a real good day. And then he's like, hit me, because bottom. And Buffy's like, no. And then he's like, okay, so then like I'll kiss you.
You know who has a death wish?
Oh.
Like you watch him do it and you're like, no.
No, stop.
Don't do it.
You're not reading the signals properly,
No.
man.
Because she was like, she's giving him very Cecily vibes. She's like, no.
Yeah.
No.
But the thing is, like, I've talked a lot about being in love with my best friend as a college-aged person. And like she would be like, come over and watch Felicity. And I would hear like, come over and watch Felicity. You know? It's hard when you have a crush, is all I'm saying.
She's like, the Pink Ranger's in this one. Like that.
And then Buffy has way more reason to be Cecily than Cecily does.
Oh, yeah. She's a real Cecily in this moment, but...
Can we make that happen? You're being a real Cecily right now. But yeah, she says the same thing.
Is this a coincidence, or did Spike include this phrase in the story?
I imagine that Spike did, like, voices as he's telling the story.
Including, like, a really shitty Irish accent.
Yeah. Imagine Spike's Drusilla impression. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes,
that's very good.
Okay, so
Spike is left on the floor of the alley covered in money and his own tears.
She doesn't need to, like, throw the money.
No,
she, like, crumples it and, like, throws it. She could have just dropped, I don't know.
I mean, to her defense, he just tried to fucking kiss her in an alleyway after telling her that she had a death wish. She's very overwhelmed.
But, you know, there's a lot of, like, fish nor fowl vibes with, like, the way that Buffy interacts with Spike. So I feel like it's, like, very fair for him to, like, maybe not like, why is he alive? Why is he alive?
Yes, and also...
He does more shitty things to them, like, has done more shitty things up to this point, historically, than not shitty things.
Yeah, and also death and sex are always, like, this close in Buffy the I mean, maybe everywhere, I don't know. But in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like, you know, a vampire feeding on somebody is very sexualized. Spike cannot feed on any, like, there's all this, I was thinking, like, I wonder if he didn't have the chip in his head, if he would still be in love with Buffy, or, I mean, I guess we'd actually get to a scene that talks about that in a second. But it's just like, is he as enamored with Buffy as he is because he cannot, like, kill her? Yeah, I hear your hmms.
So, I don't know if I told this story on this podcast before. It's possible that I have, because I've read only one single solitary Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan magazine, and it was something that, like, a well-meaning grandparent or parent put in my stocking one Christmas. They're like, oh, she likes this.
Oh,
it's very sweet.
That is very nice.
But it was around season 4 because it was about sort of like Anya and Spike becoming regulars. And James Marsters gave this interview where he's like, in order to get screen time, you have to either be trying to kill her or kiss her. Yeah. So why not both, sort of thing. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, actually, when we talked to James, he talked a little bit about that, like that his... Not that his, like, way of staying on as the character of Spike, but that, like, he knew that he couldn't just be bad to stay on the show, because if you're just bad, like, you know, your timeline is shorter. Which is why we're going to get so complicated, aren't we? Later. Anyway, in South America in 1998, there's a slime demon. What's it called? A chaos demon.
Yeah, it's a chaos demon. The antler is slime. Drusilla has to find her pleasures where she can because Spike tastes like ashes.
I do love that Drusilla moment, though. Like, imagine turning to, like, your maybe soon-to-be ex and being like, listen, I have to find my pleasures somewhere. It's like, it's a bold statement. I appreciate Drusilla for it.
Can you blame a girl?
Right.
Yes. This chaos demon, what a sweetheart.
Oh my God, he's so nice.
Oh my God, he's like, I didn't know. I'll leave you. You guys have things to work out. I'll be over here.
How much laundry do you think this guy has to do? So
blotting my antlers.
But we learn in the scene that, of course, Spike tastes like ashes because he's been thinking about Buffy since he met Buffy. And, like, I guess he could couch that in just like, well, I just want to kill the Slayer because that's what I do. I kill Slayers. But Drusilla seems to tell us that that is not the full story.
And we already know that she can, like, pluck effulgent out of his head. So
yeah,
she knows what he's thinking. She's not wrong.
So here we are. Joyce lost her conditioner. And she's like, I'm going to stay at the hospital overnight. I'm going to be fine. She does not look fine. The makeup team is doing a great job. And Buffy says, this is, like, probably just about as Buffy as you can get. I know you will. And then she goes outside, and by herself, she sits down and she cries. Like, she's strong for Joyce, and then she, like, takes her moment by herself.
And Spike, who's gone home after drying his tears with his money, and dug out a dusty old shotgun, which Harmony has questioned deeply, his ability to use it effectively. And he rolls into the Summers' backyard. He would like to end his suffering, please. But, well, Buffy's crying, so then there's a lot of jaw clenching and a lot of, like, gentle face work. The eyebrows are in play, but just ever so slightly.
The cheekbones are popping?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
They really are. And also, like, I know that there's a lot going on with James Marsters' face, but Sarah Michelle Gellar's fucking face, right? I mean, the like, she has this look on her face that we've seen as the viewer, I think a couple times, like Helpless came to mind, that episode, like, she's terrified and she is vulnerable in a way that she so rarely is. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, we've seen this, but I don't think that Spike has ever seen this. I don't think he's ever seen her look like this. And it totally breaks him. So he sits down. Joanna, you get to play Buffy. Oh, no, actually, I guess you should play Spike. Jenny will play Buffy.
Finally.
To the listener at home, Jenny took her hair down. That's 2 live shows in a row that you found a way to take your hair down. Spike sits down on the steps.
I'm staring into the middle of distance.
Next to Buffy. And like a man who has not comforted a person in several hundreds of years, he picks up his hand, he places it gingerly on her shoulder, and he pats it.
Like a 2-year-old little boy who just learned how to be gentle while petting a cat.
And like soft touch, soft touch.
Be nice, gentle.
Soft, gentle.
And like, I think this is where we truly go off of the rails with, I mean, I know everyone here likes Spike, but Joanna, you and I are sort of notorious for our Spike love, and this is like the moment we go off the Spike rails. For me, it's my moment of I'm off now.
No, I like the eyeliner and the eye contact. But yeah, this is a whole nother thing. And then he says before the pat, he says like, "Is there something I can do?"
Oh. I'm so glad that you're here groaning with us.
Is there something I can do? She doesn't even say anything. And then he decides the thing to do is...
I'm so comforted. Thank you.
And they're like, you know, they're both wearing very similar, like she's wearing baggy black clothes, he's wearing all black. Like there's just something visually
I wish I could visualize it. I wish there was like some artistic representation of it.
Well, what do you know? To the
Kate
listener,
Leth.
we turned around, we looked at the poster behind us that Kate Leth has designed.
Kate Leth.
So, I don't, like, sometimes we do an episode and I don't want to let it go. Like, that's how I felt when we were doing Hush. You know, I was like, oh no, once we stop talking about it, we're done talking about it. And this is one of those episodes. We have Kate Leth and Joanna Robinson to talk about Fool for Love. How are you doing out there?
A blessed day.
We have something. Kate, come on back out, Kate. Yes, share a microphone with Jenny.
Oh, yes.
We have some, so you know how the podcast ends, don't you?
James Marsters here?
Wouldn't you feel the fool if he was? So we are going to howl out, and we have something because, let's just give another round of applause to the Brava Theater for having us tonight. This is a space that exists to champion women's voices, LGBTQ voices, POC voices, marginalized voices. So we are honored to be here, and if you live in this area, you should come back and support them. If you don't, you should just travel to the Bay Area because it rules and come and see some stuff at the Brava Theater. San Francisco, we asked you to howl out with us, and Kathy up there running the lighting has something special for us to howl out to, don't you, Kathy?
Well.
For the listeners, so you don't feel left out, the lights have gone down. There's above lighting that looks like the sky, and behind us is a moon with some stars.
Would you say that moon is effulgent?
I would say
it's gleaming.
I would say that moon is effulgent.
True. It's a full-ass moon.
Is there a bulge in it?
No.
You've gone too far.
Are you ready, San Francisco?
Thank you all so much for joining us on this magical evening. Until next time.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Beautiful.
I don't have a death wish. How could you even say it? I fight it, but the truth is I'm hanging by a thread. Thought nobody could touch me, but maybe I've been lucky, 'cause now I think I might be in way over my head. I hate you, I need you to tell me the truth, even though I do. I hate you, I need you to show me how predators do what they do. And I don't want to talk about it, so I'm not gonna talk about it.
Baby's got a death wish. I don't know how to do this. I fight it, but the truth is I'm hanging by a thread. I know that you don't see me. Been a while since my heart beat, but now I think I might be in way over my head. I hate you, I love you, I wish you were dead. No, I don't. I hate you, I love you, get out of my head. Oh, I might joke if you don't want to talk about it. We don't have to talk about it.
Talk about it,
But if you want to talk about it,
I don't want to talk about it.
We don't have to talk about it.
I'm Dana Schwartz, and this is Rise or Die, the official companion podcast for Peacock's original series, Those About to Die. On this podcast, I go behind the scenes with the show's cast and creators to learn how they brought their brutal vision of Rome to life.
Gosh, people will freak out.
Rise or Die launches on July 18th. Watch or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.